Hey, howdy, hey, it's Kirk, and welcome to another episode of Distory. Tonight will be joining me, as always, the Disney Cicerone, Kate, as we explore Pinocchio's daring journey over in Disneyland, California. One of my favorite, just really cool dark rides, and Kate's an expert on it, so tonight's going to be a great episode. Let's pull in the one and only Kate.
Hello.
Hey, what's happening?
You're back in your studio.
I have to be. It's the Phillies are playing the World Series. I have my in-laws here, so here we are.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, get the sound of the crickets, which is so appropriate for Pinocchio.
Jiminy, right? Hi, diddly dee. We're hanging with the Cicerone of Disney. Do-do.
That almost worked.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Come on, it kind of stretch. Do you want me to call you Katie? I could have had it rhyme with Katie.
No.
Yeah. I
I've
think
been
you'll go
Katie
with.
since I was 5.
Well, that's
So
what I'm
it'd be
saying.
weird.
I feel like Cicerone of Disney is better.
Nothing wrong with Katie. I love the name Katie. I'm just not Katie. It's
You're
really
just not.
weird.
No, it's Kate.
Yeah.
Kate.
Yes, Kate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the reason I'm Kate, my real name is actually Catherine, but the reason I'm Kate is because my last name, my maiden name, was super long, and I didn't want to write Catherine with my last name, and so I'm like, can I shorten, what name can I shorten? And that was the only one I had control over, so I'm going to make it Kate, so I don't have to write it as much on my school papers.
Do you prefer, though, Catherine?
No. I haven't been called Catherine since I was like 3rd. I think I changed it in 4th grade, so I haven't been called Catherine since then. So it's only like, official DMV and stuff that calls me Catherine.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. Pocket Fam has a gift for me.
Pocket Fam does have a gift for you.
What?
I'm waiting for Jackie to type it out if you're on my side.
Jackie! You guys, Venmo me a gift so you can book a tour of Walt's apartment. Oh my gosh!
Woo!
I'm gonna cry.
That's pretty sweet, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm literally gonna cry. Sorry. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I get to see Walt's apartment.
For those that, while Kate's having, enjoying her moment. Yeah, while she's enjoying her moment, for those that didn't understand what she was saying, Kate's going to be going to Disneyland pretty soon, and Pocket Fam thought it would be a great idea to get her over to Walt's apartment tour, which is a really cool special tour. I found out it's pretty exciting. Good stuff.
Thank you guys. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm blown away. I was just
When
thinking today.
you wish upon a star,
I was
look
just thinking,
around.
I
Pocket
was watching
Fam's
all
where
of
you are.
Victoria sent all these wonderful photos about
Yeah.
the Disney Studios, like Walt's office and stuff. And I was just thinking, I really wish I could go to that tour.
I wish I may. I wish I might.
Yes, it's amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
guys. Thank you. And I'll definitely tell you all about it on a live. I obviously can't go live on the tour, but I will go live after it and tell you all about it. So.
Can I just say something? I have an accent for a lot of things. One of my favorite words that you say is T-O-U-R. It's one of my favorites. Tour. A tour. Not a tour. Not a tour like T-O-R-E.
Tour.
It's a tour.
I didn't know I had an accent for that.
Oh, I love it. It makes it seem fancy, like a fancy tour.
Thank you, Pocket Fam.
Everybody loves you. Of course. All right. So
It's emotional.
yeah, no worries. Here, let's be professional. Hey, welcome again to another episode of Distory with Kate, the Disney Cicerone, and of course me, Kirk from Walrus Carp. Tonight we are venturing back on another daring journey. What are we? Part 2? Part 3? Part 2?
Part two.
Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be at Pinocchio's daring journey to enjoy just the wonderful dark ride that I didn't know a lot about and was super stoked to do a ton of research. And I have to admit, you do this to me all the time, so I'm going to do it to you tonight. I got stuff that's before the stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always like stuff
always
before the stuff.
Before the stuff.
Well,
yeah.
you know what it is? It's real simple. You start researching, and then the researching turns into this rabbit hole, which then turns into because you have questions that you want to answered, and then you start answering the questions, and then it just leads to more questions, and then boom, bam, you're million
It's like
questions.
the story of my everyday life with Disney. It's like rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole, and suddenly I'm like, oh right, I should actually make a TikTok instead of just researching for like 6
Yeah, but
hours.
if you didn't research, then you wouldn't have good TikToks, would you?
Yeah, and I love it. So you know, it's great.
So I would like to take us down the rabbit hole of the creation of the dark ride. Not long. I won't go long.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then I feel like after that we should talk about just briefly New Fantasyland, like why they had to make New Fantasyland, and then we can hop in the ride.
Yeah, and I did find another, I don't believe we showed it, of when this attraction was potentially going to be in the Dumbo area. I found like a really cool watercolor, which I don't remember if we showed that last week or not. We were showing a lot of concept art, so
Yeah.
I'll show it anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, let me take the reins?
Yes, please. I can. Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, so I love, by the way, this is an amazing website. It's called Laugh in the Dark, but it's spelled LAFF, inthedark.com. If you are a dark ride fan, you probably already know this website. It's very old school. It reminds me of like GeoCities, like way back at the dawn of civilization when it comes to the internet. And it's just basically pictures and paragraphs written that they took from some really good source documents. And I just love that they've curated it together. They haven't updated it since like 1992, and I still love it. It's great. So the creation of the
timeless.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time. So the birth of the dark ride, or at least the more traditional single rail ride, because Pinocchio's Daring Journey, and the reason why this connects, and almost all of the old school dark rides that started in the 50s, 60s, 70s came out of the 20s with this single rail system, and I was desperate to find out how they worked. I just want to know how they work. Like, how does that thing even move? It's just like sitting there, and then boom, they press a button, and this thing is rolling. Well, it starts back in my home state of New Jersey with, of all people, a pianist. Interesting. So, Leon Cassidy, way back when he was 19 and studying to become a pianist, got really, really excited by the concept of carnivals. And in fact, so much so that, and I'm going to race through some of this, in Millville, New Jersey, they started the development of a company that would eventually become the Pretzel Ride or Pretzel Amusement Company. The man with the smile rode the pretzel a mile. Great slogan, Mr. Leon Cassidy.
I think we talked about that when we talked about the Haunted Mansion.
We did. Mm-hmm. So in my quest to figure out how on earth, this is pre-Omnimover, how on earth these ghost trains or tunnels of love, which were the original dark rides, how are they moving around? Well, the pretzel ones, it's interesting. The name is pretty simple. They had ones that were portable, so this is actually in a tent. And then down below, this is actually the patent for the very first ride vehicles for dark rides, which I think is pretty ding-dang cool, because on the bottom, it shows the single rail system that the ride vehicle actually sits on, and it's conductive. There's a negative side and a positive side, and it only moves this back rear right wheel, which is pretty sweet. So one wheel will drive the axle, and this pretty much is free spinning. Same with this one, which is the guide wheel that keeps it on there, but it is powered. There's a conduit that goes into this rail itself. So the rail itself is actually running power to this little electric motor that's on the bottom. But one of the main reasons, there's actually two, that they are called the Pretzel Ride Company or Amusement Company is because if you look at the track layout, which, let me bring it back to Pinocchio for a second here. This is the patent for one of the very first track layouts that they did. These could be mobile, or they would do them as standalone. But look at Pinocchio. Come on.
Oh, wait. Here, we got to get them side by side here. I got the Pinocchio one.
Okay, you get out Pinocchio. Look how crazy this is.
Hold on.
And you may have to mirror yours. Yeah, you may have to mirror yours. Look at how similar that bad boy is. Right? Comes out of the here, can you just pull yours out just a touch so we can get the bottom. Yeah, there you go. So you can get the ride sequence. So you can see on Kate's, like that is the start of the loading of Pinocchio, and then yeah, sure, it just bobs and weaves all throughout. One of the oldest ones too created, which is also pretty close to where I grew up, was in Knoebels. They have a haunted mansion there that is still one of the oldest. And if you're a Coney Island fans, Spookorama, which is still working, is also one of these. And in Wildwood, Dante's Inferno is this same style track layout, which is they just kind of weave around really, really quick, and they called them a pretzel because they bobbed and weaved. But these things were pretty inexpensive. Like even in the 20s, you could purchase one of these for $1,200. It would come with 5 to 8 ride vehicles. But the other reason why they were called the pretzel is when they redesigned the ride vehicles to balance them so they literally wouldn't flip over and launch you onto an electric rail. They would put this, it was a 40-pound sheet metal pretzel on the front. So it wasn't meant to look like a pretzel, but they then they ended up adorning it, and they called it the new pretzel. Guaranteed to send them out laughing and not flip them on their heads. So, yeah. And then it shows like all these different parks where they had them, and all these portable ones too. But I just, I've always wondered where on earth they created these things. But just, yeah, this is the bottom of one of these pretzel style attractions. So this front freestanding axle would make a connection with the electric rail, and then would turn that back right wheel, and then would spin the other one. Just, I don't know. It's the little things in life. I just think it's really cool. I never really knew where dark rides like officially came from. Oh no, my backdrop. Did you see my wall? Don't look at Don't look at that. That's boring. We need like our go live. Yes. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I kind of knew about the track layout, but I hadn't really heard about the vehicle being like the pretzel.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're taking notes.
They sell these from time to time too, the ride vehicles, so you can actually purchase them. And if you want to go back to like Omnimover kind of vibes, right? So you have the original ones kind of looked like the Model T. So they were going for Henry Ford, 1920s makes sense, right? And then they redesigned them to look like this. But here is one of the portable systems. And then this is another system. This system they actually use in the Haunted Mansion at Knoebels. But I just think it's like these things, they were so cool. I don't know if they show a picture. Yeah, they do. Here, check this out. So this was an advertisement from 1953. These ones were so fancy that, yeah, it would still get guided on that rail system, but they had tripwires that would actually make it spin. So Omnimovers before Omnimovers. Isn't that cool? All you need are these new rotating cars, and they fit your present pretzel ride. All you got to do is buy new cars. Look, more fun, more profit. Who doesn't want that?
That's all you need in life, apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, Bridgeton, New Jersey, which I've been to Bridgeton quite often for work back when I was working at Flying Fish. But man, I'm like, ding dang, I should have went to, they're now defunct. The pretzel company no longer exists. But they made so many different types of attractions. They also made carousels and merry-go-round style ones that were car-based. So like wheeled versions of these. And then they...
Well, and that's where they had the... Like we talked about when we did the Haunted Mansion, that's where they had the pop-up ghosts too. They first came out in those rides because when the car would ride over something on the floor, it would trigger the ghost to pop up. So that's where that came from. Very like you've got the Walt Disney World version. Why is it so slow in Disney World? I'll never understand.
Dude, and we're losing ghosts. Like, we don't have even 999. We lost the Mummy, so 998. We lost the Duchess, the Duke and the Duchess, right? So like
gone.
997. What are we doing here? Like how many more do we have to lose?
Maybe it's a game they're playing. They're like, let's see how many ghosts we can take away before anyone notices that they're gone.
I notice every time. Also, by the way,
know.
I had so much fun. I went with Cheryl and Ellie rode together, and then myself and Cheryl's aunt Linda rode together. But like, Linda's very quiet, so I asked her before we got on the ride, like, hey, do you want me to like teach you any of the fun history or anything? And she just sat there and didn't respond to me, and I'm like, Linda, what am I supposed to do? So I was like real quiet, and then occasionally she would like perk up and be like, wait, what was that? And then I'd repeat it, right? And then she'd be silent again. And I was like, I don't know if she's liking this at all.
Taking it all in.
And then
or terrified. Either way.
And then when we got off the ride, she was like, that was really fun. And I was like, until right now, I had no idea if you were enjoying yourself.
It was so awkward.
Linda, oh my gosh, Kathy right here. Just, I don't know if you remember this video with that little boy. Linda, listen, Linda, listen. If you have not seen this video, I have to send it to you. It's so, oh.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh my gosh. And by the way, we went to Fort Wilderness and we drove around with golf carts to see all the Halloween decorations. I know you've never done that. It is like top 10 things to do during Halloween times is find somebody who has a golf cart and go check it out.
Yeah, I've heard that's and Christmas too, right? They decorate them during Christmas.
Oh my gosh! And some of these people will purchase sites right next to them just to have more decorations, like completely empty sites, and it's not exactly cheap. Like the cheapest, no, it's like $70 for a tent site, but these are RV sites that are almost 300 plus per night. Gosh. Which and there's people they had to put in a time. Fort Wilderness is built different. They had to put in a time window. The people at Fort Wilderness want to stay there more than a month at 300 plus. So they had to put in a time limit to kick people out because people were staying there for like 6 months at a time, like living there. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess if you had an RV, like, I don't know, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, that's like ridiculous.
Retirement plan.
Yeah, I guess. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll put them up on YouTube. So, all right, that's all I got about the pretzel ride system. I just thought it was really cool.
That's really fun. So let's talk a little bit about the new Fantasyland that opened in May 25th of 1983. But before it opened, why did it open? Why did they have to make a new Fantasyland? And this is really quite interesting. I was reading. I have this wonderful book. Let me make sure you guys can see this. This is one of my favorite Disney reads for Disneyland specifically. It's called The Disneyland Story by Sam Genneway. And it's a couple of years old now, so it doesn't go towards like the last couple of years that aren't in here, but it's one of the best, well-researched Disneyland reads. So in here they have a little interview with Tony Baxter, or just a synopsis of it, and he says, why did they have to do it? Well, Fantasyland, Fantasyland, when it was originally built, we kind of talked about this in the last episode, it was built by filmmakers, people who are used to making film props. So everything was kind of temporary in that way, even though they tried to make it more not temporary, more permanent, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. But they, after like 30 years, things were starting to not.
Yeah, got ratty.
Right. Yeah. And so most of it was made out of fiberboard, which is like, very inexpensive to build with, but it was all then covered with layers of paint. And by 30 years later, they said like the fiberboard was mostly disintegrating and it was just kind of held together by paint, like a lot of these rides. So they said, one of the things I love about it is they said that the flats inside the rides had to be repainted so often they didn't even resemble the characters they were trying to portray. In Snow White, they even discovered that the sign said "to the witch's cottage" and the dwarf's castle. So somebody just.
So let me to put some a little bit of context. This is fiberboard. If you have purchased anything from like IKEA, it's like pressed plywood. So imagine a bunch of wood pulp scraps that's usually laminated on the outside is being painted. So like this stuff has no structural real integrity. It's just very simple and put together and very affordable. Very affordable.
Yeah, which is why they chose to build with it, because it just made sense. They didn't have a lot of money to build the original Fantasyland. So it's interesting because the common knowledge among Disney history fans is that the new Fantasyland they built in 1983 was the one that Walt originally wanted to make but couldn't because he didn't have enough money. Now, that's not exactly true. So I found a quote from Tony Baxter, and he said, we had kind of made those things up, all about how Walt wanted the original Fantasyland to be richer. We assumed that stuff was true. We knew how much Walt really liked Storybook Land. We knew he liked the old world look of that ride. And much of the castle courtyard area with Merlin's Magic Shop and Tinkerbell Toy Shop and so forth had a little of that look. So it was kind of, we always say Disney people are storytellers, so this was a story that was just kind of woven out of some truth. You know, Walt did love that look of those things, but is that what he originally intended for Fantasyland? Well, Tony Baxter says the Imagineers kind of made that up. So interesting, kind of debunked popular history culture there. So
Walt wanted everything, and we believe all of it. So
I believe all of it. Yes.
he's such like a. It's so funny, right? Because like there is such a monumental, like I don't know, just like he's larger than life, right?
Yeah.
Cannot do any wrong. And also everybody is seeing me look off to the side and they're wondering why. It's because the cat is over here. Say hi, Kiki. Kiko, you're on the internet. Oh, perfect. Well done. Well done.
Wow.
That was right on command.
Good job.
She was perfect. She is well trained.
She's ready for her close up.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of myth and lore and legend when it comes to Walt Disney. And so I think it's always really important that we try as much as we can to think of what did he actually say? What did he actually write down? What did he mean? Like, go to the primary sources, because it's very easy to spin the stories. And, you know, I love some of the stories, and some of the stories are great. But some of the stories aren't true. There's a lot of quotes that are attributed to Walt Disney that he actually never said. It was people on his team that said, but then somewhere along the line, people just assumed it was him that said it.
Did he? All right, two things. I'm going to ask you two things right now, and you got to just lay it to me straight. One,
okay.
Did he say it all started with the mouse? Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
I'm not sure.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I feel like that maybe.
Yeah, I feel like that one's suspect.
Yeah.
And then number two, please tell me he went down with a robe and drank orange juice. I really hope that one's true. Okay.
That one really, did do that.
I wish there was like a picture of him and he's like, you know.
No, that one was from the biography with Bob Thomas, who knew Walt Disney personally and hung out with him all the time. So he trust his biography is really well researched, and he knew him. So you know, just making stuff up, you know. But
he loved to wake up in the morning and make up stuff.
Okay, so for New Fantasyland, then, so things were not looking. I'm bringing us back on track here. So, things did not were just falling apart by the 1980s, and they're just like, actually late 70s. They were trying to figure out what they wanted to do. So, they came up with this idea that they were just going to kind of have to tear down anything that was falling apart and remake it. And I do love this quote from Tony Baxter. He said, "The hardest thing for me was not the designing of the new Fantasyland, but being there the day they tore down the original." Said, "We came in after the bulldozers were gone that day, and I remember looking at the Fantasyland Theater and the Snow White building. The mural had been ripped off in shreds. There were pieces of the frightening trees from inside lying on the ground. The theater's two big Mickey signs were lying there, and the strings of twinkle lights were down on the ground. They had fallen too. And as the group stood stunned, suddenly and unexpectedly the strand of lights flickered on. Baxter thought to himself, 'Oh my God, what have we done?' He realized we knew it was too late to stop. We were committed, and if anything at the park was pure Walt, it was Fantasyland." This makes me sad. It's like they had to.
They're not museums, Kate.
Hard. Yeah.
They're not museums. It's tough though, because like there's so much nostalgia, right? Like right now, people are freaking out because Mr. Toad has a popcorn bucket coming out, and people are losing their minds over it. Because guess what? We love the history of when we were kids, you know? But then there's like a bunch of people who are like, yo, why is there like a frog in a car? Like, why do we care about a frog car? Like, there's all those
Hurts.
people, all those people make me like laugh. It's like perfect. You guys are crazy. You like that frog car? Like frog car? What is that?
It just hurts. It hurts.
Sure, there's so many people who have no idea that ever existed or will ever exist. My kids only know because I've shown them the short, so they had no idea that was a thing.
Well, so in this amazing document that I found online is all of the work specs really for taking apart Fantasyland and rebuilding it into something new.
Yep.
Which I think is just incredible to read through. It's like 157 pages, so it's a long read.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, if you look at the phases, so hang on, I'm just going to flip this and...
Yeah, Jazzy, I think there is audio of that, and that's why I'm questioning myself.
Each one of the phases, so like I'll give you a graphical representation. So they talk about specific areas, and then they go in to say exactly what they'll physically be constructing, and like the major elements. The ground level of the restaurant is supposed to be styled similar to the Pinocchio Village House in Walt Disney World. It will contain approximately 10,000 square feet. Like, it's very well detailed and really, really interesting. And then the pictures are horrible. Like, were they in color? It's like the worst Xerox copies ever.
I think it was black and white.
I bet.
At that point.
I bet.
Xeroxed. Yeah.
I know. But I did really like how just once you actually get to the rides itself. So like, here's how Pinocchio's starts. The Pinocchio ride project description.
You can
Scope
tell where
level
it was,
1.
It was laying against the ink from the other side because there's bleed through on that page.
Mm-hmm. Bleed through, and remember I was pointing out that not all of the lines are even. Like some of them go off the page, like over here. So clearly somebody's doing this with pencil. There it is. 400 feet of cables and computer. Like, what does that even mean?
Well, so before we hop right into Pinocchio, I'll say just to give you an overview of some of the things that they kind of changed in New Fantasyland. They did a lot of things where they wanted to save the Chicken and the Sea pirate ship, which some of you have heard me talk about before. They were going to lift it and move it to another location, but then they realized it was like termites had gotten to it and it was completely rotten through, and so they had to just destroy it. And then they had plans to like remake a smaller one and like make it into a juice bar, and the plans just didn't pan out for that. But so they had planned to move the pirate ship. Then they moved Dumbo to where the pirate ship was, so where Dumbo is currently, which is behind the carousel. They were going to move Dumbo there. And then they moved the carousel back. I want to say it's 20 feet. I'd have to look it up. They moved the carousel back because it was a known congestion point going through the castle, and then like the carousel was right there, so it was like very hard for them to get around. So for traffic, they moved it back, and then they were going to add. Gosh, I don't know where the photo is. There's in here somewhere. There's like a grassy like knoll that they were going to make. That was going to be round. But between the carousel and the castle, they were going to put like a little, and so that kind of evolved. If you look at Disneyland today, it's now just kind of like this planter that has the sword and the stone on it. That's evolved out of that concept for a grassy knoll. So that was going to be there. And then they relocated the teacups because those were kind of where the carousel is now. They relocated them over near where Alice in Wonderland is, so they could create a whole Alice area. So those are like the main pieces of what they moved, but then the biggest thing that they did was they got rid of the Fantasyland Theater and they put in Pinocchio and a restaurant and a very small shop, 350 square feet, I think it said in this document. Very tiny little gift shop. So that's just kind of a very quick overview of what they did when they made New Fantasyland. They also changed it from a medieval castle theme like Disney World still has to this more this more Bavarian village feel that came from like the Storybook Land Canal boat. So they just changed the theming of the area.
I love that look too. And in comparison to, I'm going to just show this picture real quick of this one concept art,
I guess it's modern. I guess it's modern compared to medieval.
I don't know. Yeah, like I think about that. Like, what if it looked like this? This was one of the potential looks if it was going to be Dumbo area themed. You know, I mean, I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense.
Dumbo's Circus Land. It was going to be a
Yeah.
whole themed area with Dumbo, which we talked about in our previous episode. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what it was.
very happy it doesn't look like that. It looks
Yeah,
so much
the
pretty.
circus tenty look.
Yeah,
It kind of
it's
reminds
not
me
good.
of the scene in like Robin Hood. You know, like the
Mm-hmm.
with the elephants that charge. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
You know,
Sure we
the
do.
archery tournament.
Yeah.
Come on, where's my Disney nerds at?
No, I love that film, so I'm with you. So, here we go. We're outside. Can we start talking about the actual
Yes.
It's like the show before the show.
Show before the show.
So I'm on Disneyland's website. So this is coming directly off that. Relive the classic adventures of the wooden puppet who dreamed of becoming a real boy. Hop aboard a woodcarver's cart at the Stromboli Puppet Theater, where Pinocchio is singing and dancing in a festive marionette show. Escape the clutches of the nefarious puppet master Stromboli with help of the kind-hearted Blue Fairy. Follow the boy puppet as he ventures to the ominous Pleasure Island, against the warnings of his loyal friend, Jiminy Cricket. When they make their escape to sea, a new danger awaits. Mighty Monstro the whale. Will Pinocchio find his way back to his maker, Geppetto, and become a real boy? Great question. Will we?
Well, and they have that in the work copy here we have for Disneyland. And they, gosh, where is it? They have the description of the ride at the beginning. I'm missing it. I scrolled too far. There's like a million pages of this. I'm in Pleasure Island. I gotta go. Moving back.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Okay, it says description of attraction. So the Pinocchio ride and show is a journey through the fairy tale land of one of Walt Disney's most beloved characters, Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket, Geppetto, Gideon, and Foulfellow come to life through the magic of audio animatronics. So,
And the
that's what this
coachman.
says.
And we see the coachman.
Yeah, so that's here. I don't know if you can see that, but
It's so cool.
it is. Yeah.
I love just the written out descriptions of everything. I actually found a really good website too that takes us pictorially through the attraction rather than using YouTube stills and having to kind of play through it. So I have a lot to pull from.
Well, and you might have remembered from the previous episode, if we're outside Pinocchio, which we'll go in real quickly here. If you have that other photo, Kirk. I'll
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me get it. Let me get that. Let me get that photo for you, Kate. Let me just get that photo. This is my life, everybody. This is my life.
You need a closet, Kirk. I need to fundraise for a closet. For
We
you.
don't have a closet here. I can't use the garage. I can use maybe a
Expand
bathroom.
your spice cabinet.
Normally it's fine because I'm like in the kitchen, it's fine, but not tonight. Everybody wants to watch the World Series. I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. Let me just sit out here like a goober and have a giant banner hit me in the head. All right, what do you need a photo of?
The outside, because we're going to show this one again. So
Oh, ding dang it, really?
yeah, sorry.
I just dumped it. All right, hang on. Give me 1 second.
So remember, we talked about how this is inspired by, this is Gustav Tengren's, he's a Swedish illustrator who is an art designer for Snow White and Pinocchio, among a lot of other art projects. Also did the little golden books for Pokey Little Puppy and The Shy Little Kitten. So if you remember any of those, he also illustrated those. But this is where we get the outside look of this, which is interesting because it's like Stromboli Plaza, I think is what this is.
Coincidentally, Pinocchio Village House doesn't sell Strombolis. Isn't that kind of weird?
Which one are you at?
What do you
That's
mean?
not the same one.
That's not. This
it.
isn't yours. Where
No.
am I at? What is this? Oh, this is Tokyo. Look at that.
Tokyo. I was like, that's not it.
I got it. I had the other one open, and then now I'm in a mess.
I know. I should have warned you.
No, it's. I thought we were actually going inside an attraction for once.
We're gonna
and
go
here I
in.
am.
We're
I
just
know,
doing this.
Sure.
I promise.
Okay. Yeah. Here, let me. Hi, diddly dee. I promise I'll find it. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Whatever. This is good enough for now.
We're very professional here. You can see the heart design there in that one, and the little guys on the top. So it was it's taken directly from this concept art. So thank you for finding that.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay.
It's better.
We got to communicate better. We'll work on it. But even the slope of the roof and everything, it's definitely taken right from that concept of it.
Oh yeah, I mean it looks exactly the same. It's cool.
So shall we go in? Let's go in.
I don't know. Sure.
So when you enter in Pinocchio, the very first thing that you see is Sorry, I was reading the scene description of this. The very first thing you see is not that. You actually see a little puppet theater in the entryway.
Like, are we like talking about this section? Like, I need to go one further so that you can see this.
Gotta go back a little bit.
You want to see this?
Nope, back further. So when you first walk in, I know, sorry, you actually see this. Here, I got it. If you look up, there's a little curtain.
Oh, that's cool.
Chandelier.
Like, where is that? So, like, I see the second floor area. Is it? You got to remember, I've ridden this once, and I have no concept of where anything is.
It's when you walk in.
It's like over in here.
Directly after you walk in, it's in the doorway. And if you turn around and you look up, you'll see this little curtain and the chandelier, which is, of course, because you're walking into the puppet theater. So it's setting the scene. And then they have this. This, I think, is funny because this has actually changed over the years. Like, look how nice he looks in this. He's so benevolent.
Yeah, well, he's a cheery guy.
Well,
Pinocchio!
But look at what it is in the actual movie. Really different.
Yeah, it's, well, you know what? Honestly, which one would you rather go to? I'd rather go to that one, because I don't know what that dude's doing, but I'm in. How many wooden nickels does it take to get in there?
It's a little scandalous, too. So it's, and they did
have
have one.
I didn't even look below.
There's someone that's closer to that that they used to have, and then they replaced it with this one more recently. So it's slightly less scandalous, I guess. So that all sets the scene for you're going into the puppet show, and it's all very bright. There's incandescent lighting. It's all kind of bright and cheery and happy. And even on the scene description, they say the music track. It says. Actually tells you the music track they're using, and it says An Actor's Life for Me. That's what they use in the beginning there.
Hi, diddly dee. We're chilling with the Cicerone for Disney.
Crazy. You're right. It's like those monkeys that clap the cymbals. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah. I do have some gripes with this attraction in terms of how they selected the order. The order bothers me of this attraction.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just watching you fight with the curtain.
The Great Stromboli! Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Talking about putting on a show. Okay. Sorry. What were you saying?
I don't know. I have no idea. Let's start going through the attraction. I mean, we're on the outside right now. We've passed the facade. We're in the queue. Inside. We're in the queue. I know. I'm just queuing everybody up. Through the facade, in the queue. We saw the theater behind us because everyone turns behind us and looks at a chandelier and a theater. And of course now that brings us to this brings us to right about to go on a ride vehicle, but we're not on a ride vehicle yet.
Yeah, so one of the things that was characteristic of all these dark rides in Fantasyland was Walt wanted there to be murals that would basically tell the whole story of the ride. It was a preview of what's to come, a coming attraction, if you will. So just like we had, remember, for the entry tunnels to Disneyland and Magic Kingdom, you see all of the attraction posters, same kind of concept. It is a preview of coming attractions. So it ties back to the whole film and animation industry there. So That is what they did in 1980s to stay true to the design of all of the rest of the rides in the area that all had murals, is they created one for Pinocchio as well. So there.
The mural of the story. We have the coachman. We have what's his middle name? John Worthington. Hang on. What is he's got a middle name. I never knew. John Worthington Foulfellow.
Honest
and
John
and Gideon.
Foulfellow.
John Worthington Foulfellow. Yeah, who's a fox, a sly fox, which makes sense. And then of course Gideon, a cat. And then the coachman who likes to sell kids into islands that turn them into donkeys. So
yeah, stand up guy.
Well, he is standing, so I get what you mean. But yeah.
So this says the Pinocchio. Let me see. This is in the load and unload area. So this is from same. I'm just going to read this from here. Pinocchio ride entrance facade is scenically painted to resemble the roads, cottages, and shops of the little puppet's tiny fairy tale village. On a cobblestone road, a gullible Pinocchio is being lured away from school by the temptations offered from honest John Foulfellow, Gideon, spelled wrong, which drives me nuts, and the diabolical coachman. And then it says, for set description, it says the set consists of a dimensionally constructed entrance and exit way. The facade at the entrance to the show building will be 2 stories high. And then there will be scenic painting in the facade depicting a hamlet in which Pinocchio resides, as well as the entrance to Pleasure Island. The mural will be done on muslin, measuring 540 feet. So it's painted on muslin. It's really interesting.
That's crazy. Yeah. I wonder why. Maybe for applications purposes, because it's easier to apply once it's done versus just painting directly. I don't know.
Well, I feel like they did it on muslin for the big painting that was done by Bill Justice that used to be in Walt Disney World. Remember, in the where you meet Mickey now. What is it called? The Town Square Theater. There used to be a huge giant mural there by Bill Justice that I'm pretty sure was also painted on muslin. So I think this was a technique that was done a lot of the time in this era. So I don't know if they still do that. That's an interesting thing to know.
Yeah.
They must treat it with something.
Yeah, you have to. Scotch Guard.
Scotch Guard. Yeah, with all the guests. At least they're not spitting on this one as much. But I don't know. Maybe they do.
Well, I don't know. They'd be like, the coachman. It's disgusting.
So gross.
It really creeps me out. How much for you to sit in that demon chair? Or would you do it anyway?
Yeah, it's not the demon chair that would get me. It's like the knowing the spit.
Yeah, of course.
On it.
Yeah, well.
No. They did say, since we're kind of in the load area, I love on here, it says that the number of vehicles they have is 12 plus 4 spares, which, when we went on that behind the scenes tour for the Keys to the Kingdom, we saw the spare vehicles for Pirates and Aladdin. Mm-hmm. What else did we see? We saw a couple of different spare
The
vehicles.
Pirates ones were huge. I didn't realize, when you take those boats out, it's insane how big they are. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh my God. And they had them stacked almost as if you've ever seen a tractor trailer carrying multiple cars on it with the 2 floors. That's how it was like stacked one on top of another on this like metal scaffolding. It's just like they literally probably go in there with forklifts, pick them up, put them down.
It's interesting to me that they're just like out in the elements too. They're just outside.
Oh, I know all about out in the elements and outside. It's just gonna yank this thing down in like 20 seconds.
You need some like duct tape or something. Just like tape it on this.
Okay. So moving forward.
There is some specs here for the load area too. This says that the ride/show trip time is 2 minutes and 22 seconds. But it says the road show cycle time is 2 minutes and 51 seconds.
I love that. So just to put things in perspective, and I'm not sure if Disney does this, but I've been noticing at Busch Gardens when they do roller coasters, they actually list for their ride attendants their load cycle time when a train enters a station. And it'll show, then you know exactly how long they're supposed to be loading and unloading because it goes from green numbers as is counting up to red numbers, so you're like, oh man, they're like over time. So I know that stuff like is things that we don't really think about that much as just like guests at a park, but ride occupancy is one of the most important things, and the reason why we've gotten so many of these omni mover style attractions is because their capacity is so high. Here at Pinocchio, though, capacity not all that high.
Low. It's
Yeah,
low.
it's
Yeah.
but nobody's on it.
Low.
Nobody rides
No.
it. Like it bothers me
It's
that you guys
terrifying
have.
for kids.
Oh,
It is. It's
stop.
scary for kids. It
Ju-
is. It's
now
a scary
is
ride.
now
I mean,
is
I still put my kids on it, but
is
it's scary for littles.
is
It's
Snow White
absolutely
considered scary now that it got refurbed to be like brighter and nicer? Is it still
I don't
considered
think
scary?
people think it's as scary as it was. No, it just was for a long time when it was the Scary Adventures version.
Yeah.
And that ride literally was legitimately scary. Not not if you're like into horror films and stuff, but for your average person, especially your average child, it was really scary. So
So the question then is there a long wait for Snow White when you're there or not?
yeah, now there is, yes.
Because it got refurbed.
Yeah, there
Got it.
never was before. It was like always a walk on, which is it's funny because when I make posts about it, people always say that was the first ride I went on at Disney and it terrified me. And I was like, the reason it was always the first ride they went on was because it was people who went to the park, probably didn't know that much about any of the rides, and they said this one doesn't have a wait, and they went on it. And I think that's just historically what happened for a very long time with Snow White.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but no, Pinocchio. I think that's why it doesn't have as long a wait. It's also just, I think it's the story is kind of creepy. So,
Ride challenge, ride Pinocchio's Daring Journey all day long. How many laps can you do, Kate? I feel like you can get in at least 110.
probably could.
I bet they wouldn't even take you off. They'd probably be
No.
like, just go, just please go.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Ha-
I don't. I don't know. I don't know if I would. There's a lot of rides I would ride over and over again. I don't know. I'll have to think on it. There was, gosh, what was I going to say? There's something about the loading area. It was interesting to see in all of that, the cars. Now, we talked about how they were originally thinking about making them into toys instead of these cars, but in this whole work draft from WED, it talks about how they were going to make them like the Snow White vehicles, and they really are very similar to the Snow White vehicles, just with their wood carving details are different. And they were going to make 18 of them, and it sounds like they ended up only making 16. So something happened there to change that. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So if we're talking about Pinocchio, I have a really great quote from Tony Baxter. He says, rides like Pinocchio's Daring Journey play on childhood fears, such as the loss of a parent and the joys that follow a reunion. A lot of Disney films use the security versus insecurity contrast. So that's one of the themes of this ride is security versus insecurity, joy that follows a loss, or almost loss. It's right versus wrong, obvious one, integrity, honesty, and trust, doing the right thing. There's a lot of human experience, dreaming, wishing for something, hoping for something, longing. I feel like this ride has so much human experience in it that's what makes people a little bit more uncomfortable to ride it, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my biggest problem, and I've talked to my therapist about it, is I really fear giant whale mouths. So that's really been, I'm working on it. I really am. See, now I got to go back. You set me back
Trigger
months.
warning, sorry.
Trigger warning. Oh, dumb and awesome.
Oh gosh, yeah. I
Dude,
mean, honestly,
Kate, can I?
though,
I'm just gonna say this right now, Kate. We're not even getting on the ride yet. Oh boy, did I really jammy jam us? I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're gonna be here for at least another
we're,
2 weeks.
we're like in
Be
the
okay
car.
with it.
I feel like we have enough time to do like.
Don't. No, you
No.
can show the first like where we're going, but we can't get in. We can't get into the first scene, and I feel like
No,
we'll get
well-
through half the ride, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's so much information.
Did you see this ticket booth? I don't know if you mentioned anything about it. but I just think it's really cool because it does show a Stromboli, two Stromboli ride posters, or not ride, theater posters. One with the marionette Dutch girl with her little wooden shoes, her little clogs, and then of course Pinocchio himself down there on the right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And
you have
all of
to,
this
you
is
have, I
set at
guess
the
you have to
scene.
give your
Yeah.
ticket. Yeah, you have to. I guess this is like a ticket booth, or you're either purchasing or redeem your tickets because right on after this. And remember, Kate had mentioned that this is 2 stories, so you can actually see it a little bit better. That there is like a little balcony up here.
Yeah. And there's, yep, that's just what I was about to show. Yep, the puppet theater. And then, so I think we can do before we actually go into the doors. I think we've got time for that because that's really short. So
Mm-hmm.
they have the, oh my gosh, I don't have a picture of it. Where is it? So they have the dolls kind of dancing is one of the first things you see. And this is all part of that scene that they're setting. Thank you. Of you're going into the puppet show and it's happy and he's dancing. It's actor's life for me.
Hi, diddly dee.
An actor's life for me. We're talking about Distory. Oh, I don't know. I don't have anything. So, oh no, I just hit the wrong button.
Look at the coloration of this theater, right? And look at how Stromboli looks. Tell me that's not foreshadowing of a menacing. You have this dark overtone. He looks very demonic or satanic up at the top. He is not a pleasant dude in Stromboli's theater.
Yeah, and I think I have in this. It does talk about this a little bit. Stromboli's theater. Having been lured away from school with visions of a grand life in the theater, Pinocchio is found to be happily acting and singing with other puppets on stage. Pinocchio, however, is unaware that Foul Fellow has actually sold him to Stromboli and he will not be allowed to go home to Geppetto after the performance. Guests travel through each scene, seeing it as though through the eyes of Pinocchio. They are constantly presented with choices to make as to whether they should take the easy road or the right road. So that's what this scene is setting up right here. And that's what this is from the original Disneyland work
I
copy
will.
from when they
I will
made.
just foreshadow. If you take the wrong road, this is what you have coming to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stromboli
That's what's
lock
coming next.
will get you up.
So they say the projection and lighting effects in here is incandescent lighting and quote unquote stage lighting. And they talk about the puppets that are moving. Pinocchio and the Dutch girl and the can-can puppet. That's what they call them. So really fascinating details on here for all of that. But that's that first scene, and then things really take a turn. So you had the track layout.
Yeah. What do you? Here was the track layout. So we had rolled into basically the beginning section. We took this curve. Stromboli's back here. We haven't gotten there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which, what is it saying? I'm trying to figure out which. You read that part. Yeah. I love that we have this too, by the way. This is
I
like
know.
so much easier to just navigate an attraction.
Don't have fun and don't chase dreams. Well, I mean, his dad chases his dream. He wants a boy, like he wants a son, you know.
Not just any boy, a real boy.
A real boy. Mm-hmm. And he does come true, you know. And Pinocchio becomes a real boy eventually. He gets his life together.
I think there you do need a blue fairy. So whoever is saying you should chase your dreams, yes, but keep a blue fairy nearby because you're gonna need a wish
Yeah.
and
Here,
and a wishing star too.
Jiminy.
So you just need that.
Jiminy.
You need a talking cricket. There's a lot of stuff you need. Which I mean is true about a lot of things that you want to succeed in life. You're gonna need to start collecting these things. So find your own. You know what though? I do feel
It's
like
an egg.
Don't you feel like we all have some elements of these things, though, that people that like help us along the way? You know, don't we all have our own Blue Fairy or
Yes.
Jiminy Cricket?
We really, and I think you need them. I think you can't just go. I think it's really easy for us to think we can just kind of go through life on our own and we don't really need anybody else to do what we do. But I think that there's so much value lost in the community when you have other people. People are really necessary, I think, for a good life. And I think that it's easy for us to write off relationships, or when things get hard, just kind of check out. But that, I don't think that's what we're made to do. I think we're meant to lean into hard conversations, to mend fences with people, and really choose to come alongside others in their struggles and live life together. And so I feel like, you know, we need Jiminy, we need Blue Fairy, we need Geppetto, we need them.
Yeah, I think we all need certain characters to help us move ourselves through our own storylines, you know? I definitely, I married a bug, so, you know, Mel's definitely my Jiminy. She's always like, oh.
Married a bug? That's not nice.
Why is it not nice? He's such a good character. He's like super important.
He is.
Thank you, Alessia, for that trick-or-treat bag. Ooh, so I'm going to get so many cavities from that. Thank you.
Married a bug, though. I don't know if I would like to hear that from Elliot.
Yeah, I mean, does she really need to hear any of this? Luckily, she doesn't listen to it, so, you know. It's tough to be a bug, isn't it, lady? You chose
Thank
this
you for
life.
the trick-or-treat. Trick-or-treat. Trick-or-treat for Halloween. Yeah, no, I just think it's there's so many life lessons in this movie, and it's not just like be a good person and do the right thing. Like that is like the most obvious. Like don't lie, you know, that's great moral lessons.
Yeah.
Be honest, have integrity, but it just goes so much deeper with the relationships, and you know that like I said, like that longing that his dad feels for companionship, you know, for being a parent, for companionship. And I think it does, and there's also makes us face our fears, and they get into a hopeless situation inside a whale, and they overcome that. So how do we get up when we're not feeling any hope at all? There's still hope there somewhere. You just got to go look for it. You got to find a solution and find a way out. So
I've learned from watching Pinocchio that Geppetto really needs something to hold his socks up, because it always bothers me because they're always down around the ground, like on his ankles, and I'm like, can somebody? He's an inventor, a toy maker. Like, somebody get him something to hold his socks up. Or just get a new pair, bro. I get it. You're an inventor. You got no time. But seriously.
No time. He's probably like the kind that just wears the same outfit every day, right? Because you don't want to waste time making decisions on what to wear. He was
really Geppetto, honestly, was the Steve Jobs, you know, Mark Zuckerberg of toy making, clearly. He always saved time. Didn't worry about his socks. These are the dumb things that go in my head when I watch these things. I'm like, there was an animator who elected to go, you know what, this guy's kind of scatterbrained, but he's got a heart of gold, but his socks.
Yeah, they need work. But it's a personality
soggy
quirk,
socks.
Though. It's a personality quirk that they didn't have to put in there, that they chose. They said, this guy's going to always have his socks falling down.
Yeah.
And it's why we love these characters, because they have these like vivid personalities that are quirky, you know, like I think that's what makes them relatable, because we all have things like that are just, well, I don't know about you. You're not.
I'm like, wow, this doesn't sound anything like either of us. So move along. Let's not talk about those people, you know.
He's a toy maker, not a tailor. It's true. He's not a tailor.
He's not a tailor. No, that's not true, though. That's not true. He's like a puppet tailor, because he makes clothes for puppets and stuff. So, like, he has made some.
He carves things. Isn't he like a wood carver?
Doesn't he have, like, on his clocks? Did he make all the clocks or no? What about is there a Jack in the Box? Doesn't he make a Jack in the Box? Doesn't that thing have clothes?
I thought it was carved out of stuff.
What about what about Pinocchio? Pinocchio has like pants on and stuff, and they're not just like painted on pants. He doesn't have paint pants, Kate. He has real boy pants.
Does he? But are they wood? Are they wood?
He's not wearing.
Are they wood before he become?
He's not wearing wooden pants. I'm trying to tell you, he's a real boy with real pants. Hang on, let me look him up. I'm serious
He
though.
does
This
have
is a
paint
serious.
pants in the beginning. That's what
He
Dad
does not
says.
have. He does
See?
not have paint. I'm getting so
He
frustrated.
purchased them. Maybe
When
he
is-
purchased them.
Okay,
Yeah.
hang
Maybe
on.
he didn't make them, but did he make them out of wood?
You're saying he
they were
was.
painted first.
You're saying when the Blue Fairy. So this is post Blue Fairy, or is this pre Blue Fairy? Because it looks like he's pretty
That looks
inanimate.
post.
I don't
I
think
think
that's
there would be cut
maybe.
before he becomes a wood boy. There's a lot of discussion happening. He has. Oh, Katie, can't say that on live. I almost said that out loud. Woo!
And you said
That's
Katie,
after the
by the
Blue
way. Just letting you say you did say.
No,
Katie.
that wasn't me. I was saying Katie Moon said something. that I
Oh,
can't
Katie
repeat.
Moon said so. Yeah, well, yeah.
No, I
you
don't
know.
call myself Katie. I
Look,
just- in
look,
my-
look. Oh, dear everyone, paint pants. You're wrong because look, she is putting her little pixie dust on him right now. This is pre-pixie. He's a dead as a doornail, sitting around non-paint pants. Those are real pants.
I don't know. The shirt could be.
What? What are you talking about? It's got sleeves. Look, the sleeves have an opening. When did you ever
Best
paint?
conversation we've ever had.
When did you ever paint sleeve? It's lederhosen. I am so this bothers me so much.
Okay.
Look. All right, ready? Look. Remember when he dances with him? Look, that's a real bow tie. And he's
Are you
he's
sure it's not made
he's
out of
painting
wood?
him.
Does it
he's-
move when he moves?
He's painting them right now, and it's got holes in the sleeve. It is. I'm so done with you right now. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He's wearing pants. He's wearing clothes. He's got the whole painted. Like, yeah, his face is. His eyes are painted. Like, he's literally. Geppetto right now is painting his eyebrows on. So if you ever, you want to
painted-
see what
he's painted
threading looks
clothes,
like on a
so maybe he's-
doll, there it is.
Are you sure they're not carved? Maybe it's carved. I don't.
Carved? Carved. You think this is carved? Okay.
Okay, I said I had to go back and look at it again because I just don't.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking with my own eyes. That's a carved hat? Okay.
Okay, now you're probably right. It probably looks like he put clothes on it, but I don't think he tailored them. I think he maybe purchased them. I doubt he sewed it. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe.
I was looking at some of this Gustav Tengren work, and that kind of looks like he put clothes on him too. So, it's a carved feather. It's carved everything.
Okay, look.
I don't know.
He's clearly not. He is a puppet wearing clothes. That is a puppet wearing clothes.
Are his
What?
pants?
Oh my gosh, Kate, are you kidding me? I can't zoom this in any further. Are you kidding me? His pants? You're gonna talk about his pants again?
Okay.
It's a real outfit.
Probably a real
It's
outfit.
a real outfit.
I'll give you that. It probably
Okay.
is. I don't know about the hat.
You can't. You can't even. You. It probably. That's the best. Okay.
Just messing with you.
I'm gonna watch this movie now and be like, oh,
But he's not a tailor. Let's just get that. We can agree on that, right? He's not a tailor. He's like
Yeah,
a
I have to- you know what?
Toy maker.
I have to
Harvard.
see. I have to see whether or not
worker.
there's a lot of clothes on his toys before I can make that. I need to look at his toys more.
We need
So
a
like when
close-up of
Jiminy's like
all
walking
of the
around,
toys.
I need close-ups of every toy he's ever made, and has
We need
he
to
made
see
little
the scene with all of the clocks and the
Right.
wood. We need
Right.
that.
I
'Cause
know.
are
I'm
those all
scrolling for it,
carved?
and I don't see anything.
That's
It's
the
helpful.
question.
Yeah.
Everybody hates to agree with you, but it sounds like they're agreeing with you.
Oh, Kate's so perfect all the time. She's never wrong.
Excuse me. I didn't say. I just said maybe. I didn't say for sure. I don't know.
Probably Kirk's lying. He's never
But I
right.
think the question was the.
No, the question was he a tailor?
Was he a tailor?
Yeah,
he's
and
not a tailor. Geppetto
yeah,
is not a
that's-
tailor.
That's fine. That's
And
fine.
even his name has to do with wood. Remember?
Right.
All the,
I do.
from last week, it's diminutive of Jeppo, which is a Tuscan pronunciation of Ceppo, meaning a log, stump, block, or stub a stub of wood. So, wood.
Hmm.
And well, for that, I mean, Pinocchio is also pine and eye. Pino and Occhio, pine and eye. So, I mean, logic would say that he would be fully made of wood. But I will give it to you. He probably is wearing clothes. Probably. Like,
it's the worst word ever. I'm looking back. The only thing I have is when he turns into like a real boy. There's a scene. I'm just not finding stills here, but there are some puppets in the back that are wearing clothes. But then there is a lot of. So this guy over here, he's clearly all wood carved. But then these two marionettes look like they have actual like draped clothing because that looks like it's slung over fabric. But then there's lots of wood carvings. There's a cow. There's a ship all the way over here.
Most of it's made out of wood, I think.
Yeah, most of it's made out of wood. Like, except for this dude. Who is that? What is that thing? Oh, I need to rewatch this movie now. Oh, my goodness. What is that thing?
Okay, so maybe he's not a sock tailor. See if any of the puppets have socks. The clothes do look
soggy
real.
socks? Are they soggy socks? Because...
Okay, Katie Moon just watched it. She said the clothes do look real, but they don't move when he dances. Interesting.
Okay, well, that seems to be an animation problem, not a if the clothes are real problem.
Like an early animation problem. It was animated.
Yeah, I mean,
early. 1940. It was a long time ago.
I swear,
they were
Katie,
water.
Katie, if I watch it tonight and the clothes move, Katie, I'm coming for you. I'll see you on Discord, Katie Moon.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that was a great rabbit trail. Just saying. All Geppetto socks. Yep.
It's real clothes, so,
yeah.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I guess this is everybody's homework assignment is to go and watch.
His clothes are moving. His feather's moving in his hat.
See,
Hang on, I found a gif.
Feather's not the same as clothes.
Yeah, I don't know. His clothes are moving right
carved.
now. They are moving
real.
and kicking cats. They're kicking cat clothes.
It's a terrible scene.
It's the only thing I got right now. Hang on. Is this moving around?
Is it though? The feather's moving, but the clothes aren't.
The clothes move right here. Look, when he lays flat, this part lays flat. And same with his bow. See his bow laying flat? It gets all crumpled. And look, there's a fold on this back right leg pant.
Okay,
What am I doing with my life? All right, I'm done.
I see the fold. The pants are coming off his legs. It's true.
This is how my brain looks right now. This is my brain right now. And all I hear is probably painted. Meh. La da 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 da. La da 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 da.
Kirk, I wish you were going to be there in November
Oh, dude!
to ride this ride.
At some point, that all that stuff will happen, and we're gonna have a blast. I mean, this stuff is this real life Distory stuff should happen too, like where we film actual episodes of Distory in the parks, pointing out things beyond. I love that we do this because this is such a fun format that's informal. It also lends itself really well to podcasts. But doing like a more formalized YouTube-ish style video would be exceptional because not a lot of people do it. There's very little history about the parks done. And most of what it is like, did you know that the castle doesn't have bricks? And you're like, oh, okay.
I know.
I was
like, if I ever start making content like that, I'm like, just stop. I'm just going to stop. You have to tell me to stop. All of you tell me to stop if I start making content. Like, did you know that?
If you make a video about the castle not having bricks, I will just shut down your TikTok. Shut it down. I'll press the button and be like, not interested. And I'll just do it from 1 million accounts.
I promise. I solemnly swear I will never do that to you guys. Oh, see, everyone's like, he forgets that Kate only trusts primary sources. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I am a classically trained historian. I have a bachelor's.
You're all about primary sources too,
I have a bachelor's in arts in history. Trust me.
But the film is, yeah.
What? Okay. The film is what? The film is what?
The film is legit.
The film is a primary source. What are we talking about here?
That's the end of my sentence I didn't finish. It's
Okay,
it's
all
a
right.
legit primary source, but yes. Thank you for the support, everyone. I appreciate that. It's probably not painted.
Kristen just wrote, she was writing, I got no strings on me. I got no clothes to hold me down. They're painted on. Don't make me frown. Probably they're painted on. Carve me some clothes.
Well, I mean, okay, so he needs new socks because the socks fall down, and he's getting clothes from somewhere. Then, if they're on the toys, he's getting clothes from somewhere. Where does he get his clothes from? The local tailor?
You know what always got me
have
is how come
Lady love who sews for him.
Well, I mean, listen, he does have. Hang on, they do have that German. Well, yeah, never mind. You know what gets my gruff is the old school, like using a belt to put around books and give him an apple, like to go to school. Yeah. What book is he giving him? Like, what's the book about? And can he even read? I don't know if he can read. I gotta go back.
Maybe it's a book to teach him to read.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's a great book. I can't read this, so therefore I'll never learn how to read in a I can't read book.
Like an early primer, like they have primers.
He needs. There's like speed racing going on outside. He needs one of those like tracing books where like he just traces all the letters and goes, I don't know what this is, but I'm rubbing my finger on it because I can't read. I don't even have eyes. They're wooden. Can't see through the paint.
Well, and then he wouldn't eat either, right? Why would he need that? Was apple for the teacher? Mm-hmm. Apples for the teacher, right?
Apples for the teacher.
He wouldn't need lunch.
Which fun fact, apple a day, keep the doctor away. What they were actually referring to is from colonial times, and they were talking about hard cider. So it gets lost in translation.
That on your live the other day.
Apple a day, keep the doctor away. Drink those.
Maybe he has a partner who makes clothes.
It was because the hard cider that they made in colonial times and in England as well was called Scrumpy, and it had a lot. It was like from the first and second pressings of apples, which is super, super dark brown. It had lots of bits in it too, so it's hearty bits.
Yum.
It's really good. There's some really good like funky scrumpy ciders that you can get from England that are awesome. Like American ciders are really unique and different. They have all these different characteristics from the apples. They're not just like sweet. They're like sharps and bitter sweets and all this other fun stuff. But yeah, anyway.
This has been a wild ride through the we didn't even get into the ride. We just
we did kind of. We went through
the first scene. Scene one.
Scene one.
Stromboli's Theater.
Scene one. Argue with Kate for an hour. So that was fun. No, honestly, this is a great ride. This is a fun conversation, and I will openly, honestly say, I knew nothing. I know more than nothing now, but it is really, really fun to research things that I'm not familiar with. Mm-hmm. I have more fun researching things that I have no commonality with. I've never ridden before, besides like once on this. So this is just, I'm glad this is your home, but for me, it's fun to do something completely, like maybe we should do one that's overseas where neither of us have done it. So it'll be like completely foreign to us. That could be a fun one.
Yeah, that would be really fun. We'd have to do probably one of the Asian parks.
Yeah.
Shanghai, Hong Kong, because I've been to Paris.
Or Tokyo. Yeah.
But it's been a long time since I've been in Paris. I wouldn't mind researching more about Paris just because I'm going to go there next year.
Yeah.
So it would be fun. So this was interesting. So next time what we'll do is we'll actually go into some of the scenes and we'll see how far we get. We'll play it by ear as we do here on Distory because we don't want to rush through rides when we might have a lot.
We don't do it anymore. We did it once. We will never do it again. And it was, by the way, it was such a cute episode because we both had fun like pirates outfits on. Like we really got into it. That was episode 1. And we ruined Pirates. We did it in 2.5 hours, and it was not enough. It bothers me so much.
It was not enough, but it does have a lot of great great facts in it. It's actually our
Oh.
most listened to podcast because
That's number one, lady. That's why they
one.
just go like,
No.
"Oh, it's Distory." They don't. It's not. Well, I mean, Pirates is popular too. It's
Pirates
hard for
is popular.
somebody. It's hard for somebody because like we don't synthesize things into small, neat packages. So, if you want the long tail, that's what we're all about. We're not
Yes.
here to
Highly
give you the
detailed.
Cliff Notes, Spark Notes. We are here to give you the innocuous. We are here to give you the long-winded. We are here to entertain, educate in the longest way possible. Oh, thank you. It's delicious. Let me grab one of those bananas.
It's true though,
Thank you, Alessia.
because we're so fascinated with the details that people have not talked about before. We're not interested in just like, this is what you could look up on Wikipedia and get like these 5 facts about this. Oh, thanks, yeah.
Ooh, look at
It's a
you.
fancy one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're interested in like the really niche, obscure, highly detailed, because that's what I think we're trying to give the Imagineers justice then, for they thought about all these things. So maybe let's think about them too. And why did they put that? And that's there's intentionality behind the design that I think that a lot of people don't quite get that deep into. And that's where we're at.
Yeah, I don't think our to be just frank and honest, I don't think this podcast is really for the majority of folks. But the folks that, because like if you think about our live streams, right? Like you hit hundreds of people when you're live streaming in the parks. I hit hundreds of people when we're live streaming in the parks. Here it's a much more like condensed, but the condensed, they get it. So everybody who is here, I just want to say, you guys get it, and we really love you because, you know, otherwise it would just be Kate and I talking about it, which we would do anyway.
Yeah,
but we're happy that we found you
over
guys.
Puppets close, yes.
Which would happen and has happened and will not be the first puppet textile conversation. We'll have more puppet textile talk
I know.
another episode.
It's going to be fascinating to see what happens with the rest of this attraction, because we haven't really talked about this one at all because it's not one we like have ridden together. It's not in Disney World, so like we haven't talked about this much. So it'll be an interesting. If the Discord isn't flooded with clothes and puppets, I'm going to be sad. We're going to continue this discussion.
Listen, I feel like enough with the GIF, but Katie Moon, I will find a scene, and when I find that scene, I will tag both of you in it, and you can leave me alone. There's a real. There might even be no. There's not going to be that. Never mind. I don't want to say what I was going to say. Clothes and puppets, it can get weird. Put it that way.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, so next time we'll move into the ride and we'll talk about all the different scenes and I'm sure find something else to argue about. It'll be great. Next episode.
Can you do me a favor? Because I have to buy your clothes anyway. But you know, because Karen is being so awesome, like maybe make a shirt that says probably, and then I'll wear it and I'll hate myself for it, but I'll wear it.
Probably.
I probably will.
Probably will. Speaking of which, I do have this one.
Talk about it. What do you got? What do you got?
I have to flip it.
Ooh, it looks so good.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. I got to order mine.
It came out really well. Yeah.
It looks so good.
Well.
Are they on? Or are they not on?
Don't order anything yet.
Okay.
But yeah, it is on the thing. Everybody else can order them. You don't. But everybody else can. It's at DisneyCicerone.com.
I was waiting because you were still working on that, so I was waiting for that one to come out, and then I was going to buy my Distorian shirt. But okay.
So for those of you who missed the Tiki Room episode, this is like one of the original names they were throwing around for the Tiki Room. This is Enchanted Tiki and Bird Room featuring Disney's Legends of the Enchanted Tiki Show. So it was a very long name, and then it features our little wand, the Barker bird at the top, and a Dole Whip because we talked about the history of the Dole Whip. So this is all tied into our series on the Tiki Room. So,
dude, I want to like go to Disneyland so bad right now. Like this, honestly, I'm gonna be like, all right, Ellie. First of all, I can't afford tickets, Ellie, so you got to come out there with me. So we got to find really cheap flights, and I need you to get me in. Or you know what, my friend Carrie works there. I'll be like, yo, Carrie, I need to get in. I wonder how expensive it really is to fly out there. I bet if I find some weird flight that's cheap, I'm sure I could fly out on a Tuesday, come back on a, whatever. something weird that nobody flies on, you know. And they'll just strap me to the wing for like $40. I just gotta hang on with my talons.
Like Spirit, Frontier, like.
I don't mind. Well,
Budget airlines.
that is a long Frontier flight because they are those seats. They are not good.
Well, and they're not as cheap as they seem either because they jack up the price for everything.
No, you don't. You literally just pack nothing. That's what I do. I pack my Loungefly with nothing. You get packing cubes, and you put your packing cube into your full-size Loungefly. You stuff it in. You leave some room for souvenirs. You should see me though. They totally. First of all, here's 2 fun facts. You want some tips? Here's some non-approved Mom Street USA tips for when you're riding low-cost carriers. You can stuff stuff in the sides and hang things off of your bag, and that counts still as your bag. And the other thing is, oh, I'm wearing a big hoodie. I'm just really big. I don't have nothing underneath. I have also shamelessly had a bag underneath my my extra large hoodie before.
Or layers. You wear layers. Put all your layers on. Just
that's true. That's true. Just like wear the clothes, wear everything.
Like 3 pairs of shorts under 2 pairs
just
of pants. And
just tie all of your pants to your head and be like, that's my headwear. So
we did that when I flew Ryanair, which is pretty much like Spirit and Frontier. I flew Ryanair when we were in Europe, and we had like no money because I couldn't get a job, and Elliot was just living off of his like grant money. So we just flew everywhere around Europe for like €20, but to check a bag was like €50.
Oh yeah,
like,
you can't do that.
So we took a tiny little backpack that fit in the dimensions, and then we like wore all our clothes. I have traveled light. I don't do it anymore. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah, Mel. I mean, that's what Mel and I did like crazy, and we went all over the country doing that, and like we were flying for like $20 here and there. So it's totally easy to do, and honestly, sometimes it's cheaper to ship things back too via like Disney's like merchandise shipping versus like bringing souvenirs and stuff back too. So, but it depends. All depends. You know, sometimes you can find really cheap flights. So.
Yeah, I found this one down to Disney, like, because I was like, I gotta find a cheap one. I had enough miles to get my flight down for free, and then I went on a different carrier on the way back. But all my flights are like 3 layovers.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
So it's gonna be an adventure. I'll have a lot of time to read and write. It'll be great.
Yeah, why not? It's where are you going? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? And if you're lucky, maybe some of it will get like beat up, so like they'll like have to bump you, and you're like, oh, yep, I'll take it.
Yeah,
you know, you can make some money.
Yeah, if you have the time, and it's not. If I'm not traveling with my kids, I'm always like, yeah, let's do it.
That's what I mean. Like, you know, where you gotta go,
Rhonda, so I'm going to Disneyland in November. I'm going to be there the 14th through the 18th of November. I'm going to do, I think it's the 15th, I'm going to do a 1955 challenge day. So I'm going to live like it's 1955 in Disneyland and only ride and eat and see things that existed in 1955 and try to ignore the rest of it. And we'll show some vintage menus and some of the sites that were there, and we'll just kind of visit some of the sites of things that used to be there as well. So 1955, I'll be live, not in 1955, on November, I think it's November 15th. It's a Tuesday. I have to look up the date. But that week in November, on Tuesday, I'll be going live all day, and you can live like 1955 in Disneyland. It'll be really fun to talk history. And then in January, I will be back in Disney World. I booked my trip, so I'll be back. I leave the 15th to the 21st. I'll be there like a whole week, so prepare to be sick of me. It'll be great.
Great. Sweet.
Yeah, Kirk's
good to see you. A week. Why not 2?
I recognize the last time I was there, I need enough time to not only like have some time to sit down and write and do kind of like be just in my headspace there, but also do a little bit of live streaming and also get a lot of content. So I just need enough time to do all of that. And I was just killing myself trying to do it in like 4 days. So
I got to take you to Trader Sam's. We got to chalk that one off.
Yes, we got to do that for sure. Allie, you're going to be there too? Yay! That's exciting.
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah,
Probably.
Trader Sam's. I was going to ask you about Trader Sam's. We got to do that because I need to go.
That's on there.
Especially though I've been in the one at Disneyland. So, yeah, so really exciting to go back to the parks and miss it. So.
I really like your idea of the 1955. That's very fun.
Yeah, we might have to, do something similar in Disney World.
Like it's 1971.
1971. Mm-hmm.
2000 party over, it's out of time. Suits and night, we're gonna party like it's 1955 and 71.
71. I was like, which one are we gonna do?
Oh, both, because it's side by side.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It'd be so fun. Yeah, Ali, I would love to see you.
Yeah.
And I do you mind if I just mention my giveaway real quick?
I would hate if you talk about your business, you're not allowed to promote, you're not allowed to do any of these things. Dude, yes, please. What are we giving away? What are you giving away?
This one, let me make sure you guys can see it right. So this is a book by National Geographic. There's 100 Disney Adventures of a Lifetime, magical adventure experiences from around the world. And it's by one of my favorite authors, Marcy Creeker Smothers. And she did a book called Eat Like Walt, and she also did one, Walt's Disneyland, I think is what it's called.
This is amazing. Such a cool book.
It's so great.
And let's just talk about how amazing Kate is for even getting access to this. Like, you are like Miss Nat Geo now. I love it. I'm so proud of you.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? What is my life? But it's great because it really has not only like beautiful photos and stuff, but usually these books, like, I'm like, oh, that's a nice like coffee table book, and I'm like, it's nice, but I don't want to read it. This one actually has a lot of really kind of more obscure details and stories from around the world, Disney things that are around the world, and they even tie back a lot of the like the National Geographic things. I don't know what that is. Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, okay, what do you show?
It's a statue. Promise.
Was that painted on?
Oh, it's an ode to Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale, The Little Mermaid. Statue honors the Danish. So it's somewhere. See, I told you, it's like stuff around the world that inspired the Disney parks, which I'm always saying, everything ties back to Disney, right? Well, this book is pretty much like the proof of that. So really wonderful stories, beautifully bound book. And so I'm giving away 2 of these. Next week, right before Distory, I'll go live and do a little giveaway time. So I'm giving away 2 lucky winners, and all the information on it is on my Instagram channel. So there's a link in my bio or just on my little Instagram icon. Look for the post that has this book on it and enter to win. Yeah. So,
yeah, you got it. You got to go to Disney Cicerone on Insta. I just tried to pin it, Jack, but it won't pin on here. It's so weird. I don't know why that. Can you pin on your side? I don't think we can pin because we're doing like co-hosting on here. Normally you can. But yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's on my Instagram. Get your copy. It's going to be, I'm so excited to be able to give away 2 of these. And it's really nice to own it too. I've been reading it the last week and it's been great. So I did make a TikTok about some of the stuff that's in it, just to, you can see a few of the things.
I just love that, like, Nat Geo is like, you know what? I don't know who else to talk to. There's only one person to talk to. Get Kate on the line.
It's so weird because it's like them and Universal Music too. It's like the people that reach out to me and I'm just like, I thought it would be like small brands that reach out to me, but it's like these giant ones. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not a huge creator. I'm not like a million followers person. So, but I don't know. Just me. It's just little old me.
Not a huge creator. Please.
I don't think of myself that way. But
I know you don't. But, you're spreading a lot of Disney joy to a lot of people, and you're very factual, and you're not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because, that exists quite a bit,
not
too.
yet. Maybe more of these conversations with you, I might get there. Who knows?
Well, if there's any chance of me being somewhat as smart as you, I will probably have to work on your mental state and psyche to get there. So this is my slow process. It's just like a little, like a sculptor. I'll just chip away at you.
Like a glacier carving into the
Yeah.
landscape.
I am the Never mind. Yeah. I was gonna
For
say
once, Kirk is saying the right things. Kirk is amazing. Oh, yeah, thank you, Katie Moon. That's so sweet. You guys are so sweet. Everybody saying such sweet things. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh,
Love
you
guys,
deserve
too.
it. You deserve it.
I can't believe I'm going to go in Walt's apartment, too. I'm so blown away. I cannot wait to tell Elliot. So
Bring your
excited.
robe. Bring your OJ, because it's going down.
And you get to have juice on the back veranda.
That's what I'm
Friend.
saying.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's lovely.
I dreamed about that. I'm just so excited. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Pocket Fam is your blue fairy.
Yeah, they really are. Making my wish come true. I was going to say you're like my Jiminy Cricket, but I'm not sure that's true.
Why?
My
There's nothing.
conscience.
Who? Me or Pocket
Yeah,
Fam?
you.
Me? I'm your conscience.
I was like, I don't
Do
know
it,
if that's
Kate.
true.
Do it. It's cool. Everyone will think it's great. It's not true. We actually have very, very helpful, pointed conversations about just what we're doing.
Yeah, I think
So.
there's some truth in that.
Yeah.
You need to have your head needs to be more egg shaped though. So work on that. Oh,
All right.
Kirk
Can we
is
end
honest,
this?
John.
Can we? Can
Yes.
we? Can we end this, please? Because I am done. I'm ready to be done.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for this episode of Distory and for putting up with our crazy selves. We really appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us and talking about Pinocchio, amongst other things, and joining in the debate with us. It's just so much fun to get to chat about these things together. And thank you so much, everyone, for allowing me to go to Walt's apartment. What a wonderful surprise gift. I don't even know. I don't have words for how amazing that is. And I'm so excited to share my experience about that with you, even after the fact. So, yeah. No, Gary, I didn't see that. Hi. Hello. So I'm trying to end this, but I can't think of all the things. So as I'm thinking about Walt's apartment now, I'm like mentally in Walt's apartment. That's where I'm. Let me think. So, all the things. If you would love to have more conversations about if the pants are real or not on Pinocchio, you can join us on Discord, the Walrus Carp Discord, which is in the link in both of our bios. We'd love to see you there and chat more. And if you have any more questions about Disney history, it's a
That
great place to
Distory
be.
channel is about to get red hot in like 20 minutes. It's gonna be blazing.
It sure is. It's gonna be great.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, which both wooden and clothing pants can burn, so technically correct.
I think, did I miss anything? Help me out.
I don't know. Follow Kate at Disney Cicerone on all socials, including Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you join on Instagram so you can win a chance to grab that amazing Nat Geo book about Disney history. And then if you're looking for any of the books or primary source documents, especially that Kate uses, she has an Amazon wish list. Her link is in her bio as well. And then, of course, you can head to DisneyCicerone.com to grab some of the either Distorian shirt or your awesome Tiki Room extended name t-shirt that just dropped. Pretty sweet. So.
Yeah, and also for any of my subscribers as well, there is I Speak Fluent Distory stickers that are free for you guys. It's in my subscriber notes as how to get that on DisneyCicerone.com. And we also have our shirts available as well for Distory. And Kirk also has amazing theme park clothing. It's not just snack themed anymore. It's really like just niche, amazing things you would not just see on Amazon or anywhere, you know. And your new sunglasses are so great. I don't know if you have one handy. I don't have one of the
I've actually, this is the new prototype. They're invisible, so they are really sharp. I mean, it's been hard to see, but I hope you like them. They're great. Yeah, no, they've been the reception, and I'm so happy to have the new shades. They look great. So yeah, check us out at walruscarp.com, spot for the latest hacks, snacks, and fun facts, and of course, niche, interesting, fun, make your cast members and really geeky Disney friends laugh, because if you're a true fan of the parks, then you'll get our clothes. If you don't, beat it. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No.
Beat it. Don't beat it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, don't.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. This was so much fun, and I love laughing with all of you. So thank you for being here and supporting us. We really appreciate it so, so much, and you guys really do make the show what it is. So this will be, of course, on podcast form if you'd like to listen or if you missed part of it, and also on YouTube and Walrus Carp. It says for the podcast, it is Distory with Kate and Kirk is what you want to search for. And yeah, I think that's it. I think we did all the things, although we didn't really do much of the ride, but we did all the things. Thanks, Kristen, for subscribing. It's so great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I
right.
have to go make pizza for my family or something. It's 7:00.
Yeah, go make food for people.
Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody.
Kirk.
See you guys. Good night. Bye.